Hello, everybody. I'm Paula,
And I'm Melissa.
and we are going to go into detail about our invitation and why we are inviting you, why we're extending this invitation to you guys. So today's International Women's Day, and we thought it was perfect to give this invitation because March is Women's History Month. And a way you can show your appreciation towards women is by not participating in fast fashion.
And so we kind of wanted to take the time just to explain what fast fashion is because you are most likely participating in it without even realizing it, just like Paula and I were. Fast fashion is just a way that brands, clothing companies like Forever 21, H&M, Zara, get clothing to us out the fastest and cheapest way possible. I'm talking about like materials, labor, everything. Everything's cheaply made. It gets to the stores like every few days so that you're seeing trends like every week. And this is having a really big impact on our environment.
And so fast fashion is the second greatest polluter to the environment after the oil industry. And one of the reasons is because fast fashion uses cheap textiles and cheap toxic dyes. And an example is that in the process of making jeans, 5 toxic metal chemicals are used. And that's just jeans alone.
Yeah. So every time, like she was saying, your stuff's going through the wash, these things are shedding and they're getting into our water, and they're just polluting pretty much anything they come in contact with. I have my notes here. Just give me a second. Pretty much any body of water, especially rivers in the countries where these textiles are being made, and they're getting polluted and affecting the local community, but on a bigger scale, they're affecting us as well, because eventually this water will get to all of us.
And one of the cheap textiles that are used is polyester. And polyester is a non-biodegradable, did I say it?
Yeah.
A non-biodegradable textile, and it's derived from fossil fuels, so it already contributes to global warming, and it takes years for it to break down. And every time you wash polyester, you put microfiber plastic into the water, and then it all ends up in the ocean, and we're killing our fish.
Yeah. But I guess what the point of this video is, we're trying to reach out to people our age who've been shopping like this for a long time, where we think we're getting a super good deal, like going into the store and like, oh, jeans are like $9.99, or there's the shirt for $4. But in reality, we're not really saving any money. We are just buying way more than we actually need, and it's lasting for much less time versus a good quality product that's going to last you for years to come. And even though we do our best and, like we clean out our closets and we get rid of the clothing, we donate it, a lot of that clothing that we're donating doesn't even make it to people in need. It ends up in landfills. I think Paula was looking this stuff up, and only about 10% of the clothing that we donate actually reaches people who need it. The rest of it is just polluting those third world countries that have no space for it and causing an even bigger impact.
Yeah, and there's like certain countries that have banned secondhand clothing businesses because it hurts their local economy as well. And so that's just a little bit about the environmental cost involved in fast fashion. And we'll go into more detail about everything that we have just said in this month. And if you guys know something, please let us know as well, because this is us just like Googling the crap out of everything, okay? But anyways, besides the environmental cost, there's also the human cost that is involved in fast fashion.
And this is kind of the reason that Paul and I were more like moved and inspired, is when we learn more about the way that the garment workers are being treated, the people that are actually making the clothes, and the way it's impacting their families and then therefore their communities. And sometimes we don't stop twice to think about people on the other side of the world because we don't ever see them making all of this stuff. But by participating in buying this clothes, you're supporting these companies who are paying these factories, who are paying these workers to make next to nothing for your super cute trendy top or your really cute shoes. And this is just a way for us to be able to make a difference as millennials, where sometimes we feel completely helpless and like nothing that we do will make a difference. This is a really easy way for us to change something that we habitually do.
Yeah. And we might, or you might think that, oh, you know, me and Melissa, like not participating in fast fashion, or Melissa and I, not participating in fast fashion is not going to change anything. But and you're probably right, like just us two, we won't make like a difference in the fashion industry, but there is power in numbers. And you as a consumer, all of us as consumers have the power to change the way people do business. And so again, we invite you to be a more conscious consumer and to ask yourself, like, where do your clothes come from? Like, who makes your clothes, and how is this impacting my community and the community worldwide?
Yeah, I think one of the things we found most ironic, especially going to see all these stores this past week, was just going in and seeing all of these shirts that have like all this stuff like, oh, empower women, or like, you know, celebrating Women's History Month. But these tags all say made in Bangladesh or made in India. And it's just kind of ironic that the women who are making those clothes have little to no rights in their work environment, and they're basically just slaves to their factories. So we came up with 3 pretty simple things. I guess we didn't come up with them. They're not like groundbreaking things or anything, but there's just 3 ideas that you can implement in your own life just to stop contributing to fast fashion, stop supporting it, and also kind of like feel a little bit empowered yourself, and knowing that eventually like this will have a chain reaction and people will start demanding for transparencies from these companies.
And so one of the things that you could do is don't shop mindlessly. When the next time you make a purchase, really think about, do I really need this? Like, is this really going to spark joy? Okay. And if it doesn't, if you don't love that piece of clothing or accessory, then don't buy it. Just honestly,
Put it back.
Yes. You know, it's the fashion industry that tells us that we need to stay up to all the trends, and that if we don't, we're not cool enough, or, you know,
pretty enough,
or anything like that. But that is absolutely not true.
Another thing that you can do is to start researching yourself, inform yourself, and look for ethical clothing companies. And there's actually a lot more than we thought. A lot of companies that have started a movement and, you know, trying to revolutionize the fashion industry and creating things with transparency. So they'll like even go down to the supply chain and tell you what factory your garment was made in, like where the cotton was picked, like everything. I think if we as consumers like started asking those types of questions, a lot more clothing companies would feel responsible for where they're getting their things made and who's making them and what they're making them with. So that's just one option as well.
And you'll see once you start to do your own research, and we'll also be sharing, most ethical brands will be obviously more expensive than these mass retailers because you're paying the cost. And so, but that also means that it's usually like organic textiles, and that also usually means it's better quality. So it's going to last you not just this summer or this year, but maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. And so if that's too hard to do, we're not telling you to throw your closet and get rid of all of your clothes and start over again, because that's also wrong.
Helping.
That's not helping. But if you find that hard to do, there are thrift stores.
Yes.
And there's no problem buying from thrift stores.
A lot of the clothing in thrift stores still has a lot of life left in them. You can go just about anywhere in your city and you'll find a thrift store. Going there, you're helping promote also like the local economy, and you're not supporting those huge brand names. But instead, you'll be able to find things that you can still like kind of, make your own style, make things unique for yourself, because I know fashion is a way that we express ourselves. But this is just 3 simple things that you can start doing. And we want you just to start doing it this month. Start by informing yourself, by not participating in these fast fashion trends. And Paula and I have also, in the description and in the next frame, you'll see information that we looked up and documentaries that you can watch to inform yourself. You can also follow us on Instagram, because we'll be posting facts and other videos there, so you will all become informed consumers.
Yep. So we hope that you guys are interested. And like I said, if you have questions, you could DM me or Melissa, or if you want us to, I don't know, Google something for you. We're pretty good at doing that.
Yes.
We really are.
Yeah, so happy Women's History Month, and we hope this video has been a pleasure.
Bye.